Imagine going into an office to sign on to a computer to go on Zoom meetings all day. This is a reality for so many people who are being forced back to the office. It's an employer market right now, meaning that there's more candidates on the market than there are jobs. This gives the power to companies, which is why we're seeing a big push to return to the office. But this is a moment in time, and it's not what the market's going to look like forever. As soon as hiring picks up, it's going to get really competitive again. And this is when we're going to see a return to a candidate market. Then candidates are going to have the power, which means that if they've got multiple offers on the table, you might see one offer being remote, two being in the office. People are going to gravitate towards the fully remote work. This means that other companies are going to see that, they're going to have offers rejected, and then they're going to start to offer remote work. So companies that want people back to the office are going to really have to sell them on the value of being in the office. So if their playbook is to get people back into the office and then just do the same thing that they were doing at home, that's not going to work. We're going to need to see a drastic change in office culture. Now, I am a big proponent of remote work, but I'm also a big proponent of people working together. And I think where a lot of companies failed with remote work was they didn't figure out a way for people to properly collaborate. Now, I've seen some really creative ideas. I've seen people holding offsites regularly or facilitating one-on-ones with people in the team and actually funding that. I've seen people and companies offer their employees WeWork passes so they get that feel of being in person and collaborating with others. But I don't think any company has figured this out. One thing I know for sure is that really, really large companies did a terrible job of this. As soon as COVID hit, they said everybody's got to go fully remote, and they would just ship laptops out. And I've heard of people just having like one team meeting a week, and that was it. And so it made them feel really, really lonely. So when the company said, hey, we're going back to the office, they were more than happy to. In my opinion, that is not a fully remote first culture. That's just big companies figuring out they need to operate and they can't because of COVID, and that's the easiest way to continue doing business. And there is a big difference. So my challenge to companies is you need to figure out the value of being in the office, or you need to figure out how to get those same interactions that you'd have in the office fully remote. But either way, fully remote work isn't going away, and people are starting to see this. And so if you're forcing people back to the office, I think in the long term, you're going to have a tough time retaining and keeping your employees.